Very good, Prakash. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So today, what we're gonna do is we'll do storage gateway. Do you remember we discussed about the storage gateway? What is the storage gateway used for? Anyone? So do you remember we discussed like no storage gateway? It's a hybrid storage, right? Connecting your on-premises storage to AWS storage. Correct? Do you remember? It is used to transfer, yeah, on-premises to cloud. Correct? Yes. We'll take up that. Yeah. So can we say that is used to transfer the data from on-premises to AWS? Can we say that? It is used to transfer the data from on-prem to AWS and vice versa. Correct? So if you are connecting your on-premises and then AWS, your private storage and public storage, and this is called, what type of storage is this? We call it as hybrid storage. Hybrid storage. So here I said that it is used to transfer. It is used to transfer the data from on-prem to AWS and vice versa. So on-premises meaning anyways we have a storage. And how about in AWS? How about in AWS? In which services you can transfer the data, guys? Yes, you can transfer the data in S3, EBS, and Glacier. S3, EBS, and Glacier. So you can transfer the data from your on-premises to S3, EBS, and Glacier. How? This is what we'll be learning today. Okay. So now let's take a real example. Okay. So consider this is a on-premises server. This is on-prem. I mean on-prem. This is on-premises. In your on-premises data center, see, you might be having different servers, correct? Agree? In on-premises, you might be having different servers. You might be having different servers and workstations. People will be connecting to your data center servers. That story, everything. You have so many things. It's very hard for me to go ahead and write down all the things. So I'll just put it. There might be some app servers, some web servers, some app servers, and some DB servers, and from workstations, work-related servers, your laptops. In data centers, in your on-premises, you have so many things. And also parallelly, you will be having a storage, correct? You'll be having storage in your on-premises data center, correct? Thinking that where at the end of the day, you will be taking the backup or your admin will be taking the backup to this storage, correct? Let's imagine that is 1 terabyte of storage. This 1 terabyte of storage will be sufficient, guys, in coming like 1, 2, 3 months, 6 months. 1 terabyte will be easily get filled. And you will be going and increasing 1 terabyte to 5 terabyte, 5 to 10, 10 to 50, 50 to 100. But will that be sufficient? Will that be sufficient all the time? No. There is a need of having the storage. But for that, you need to go and purchase, and it is not scalable. Yes, right. And it is not scalable. And also, everyone will be putting their files in the storage thinking that you guys have backed up. But for admin, he need to take the backup of the storage also. Yes. So in olden days, like when I was there, uh, hey, olden days meaning don't think that I'm very old, okay? So a few years back, so there was we used to take the storage backup in tapes. Do you remember tapes? Anyone experienced people might know the tape backups, right? We used to take the backup in tapes. It looks like, guys, in maybe you might have not a VCD, VCR. Remember, do you remember VCR in your childhood? Yes. So it looks like the same, the cassette, the magnetic tapes. Yes. So we used to take the backup in the tapes and we used to keep it physically in some big locker. That's how we used to take it. So many problems, so many issues. But now, yeah, but now, so the problem here is, yeah, we still take it. Okay, good. So the problem here is storage is the problem. Backup is the problem, correct? So how it would be if you, anyways, we are talking about the cloud, how it would be if you mount AWS services storages to your on-premises? It will be superb, no? Guys. So in AWS, what we have in AWS, what we have S3, which is, S3 is what based storage? Object-based storage. And you have your EBS, that meaning your volumes, what-based storage, block-based storage, and also you have Glacier. Glacier is again a object-based storage, correct? But everyone understood, no, on what requirement you should be using what here. Everyone knows the difference between all these three things. I think for sure. Don't tell me no. Guys, do you all know the difference between S3, EBS volumes, and Glacier? Uh, S3 is the where if you want to store all your files, then go with S3. So in volumes, it's a block-based storage where if you want to do all kind of computing, you can go and do it there. Glacier is for archiving purpose, correct? So we have these three, mainly these three storage services available in the AWS. Now, anyways, we have the problem with the on-premises storage issues. So now what you can do is you can store the data from your on-premises to S3. You can mount this S3 bucket to your on-premises. Guys, how it would be if you mount unlimited storage S3 bucket to your work location as a D drive? How that would be? Hmm? How that would be, guys? If you're mounting S3 bucket to your on-premises as a D drive, right? So let us think on that level. It will be super, right? So how do we push all our on-premises data to S3 automatically, or how do we mount S3 bucket to your on-premises as a D drive or as a drive? Not only in your workstation, anywhere. So that if you have the connection, generally, is it possible to mount S3 buckets anywhere? No. But using this thing, you will have, yes, you have a unlimited storage in your on-premises. How? That is possible through storage gateway. So this is the storage gateway. What we need to do is, guys, on AWS side, we have a storage gateway service. No, this is a service where you have in AWS side, you have AWS storage gateway. On AWS, this is AWS console. In AWS console, you have storage gateway. Storage gateway service. Storage gateway service is here. Okay. storage gateway service is here. So now what you need to do is AWS will be giving you one appliance, a software appliance, like it's kind of agent. You need to install, guys, in your on-premises. Everything is virtualized, no? Can you create one virtual machine here on-premises? Can you create a virtual machine in your on-premises and install the storage gateway appliance on that VM? Guys, storage gateway appliance. So this is a virtual machine. You're getting it? So I'm installing one alliance. Sorry, I'm not in my company. I always say this. Okay. So in our in the on-premises, we need to install one appliance with software on a virtual machine. And what this will be doing is you will be using that. Using that, you can connect to this appliance, storage gateway appliance, and this will be pushing the data to whichever you have configured. So your storage gateway appliance should be an on-premises on AWS side. This is your question, certification question. Storage gateway appliance should be in our on-premises or on AWS. It is on-prem. Okay, all the data will be pushed to this here. All the data is pushed here. All the data is pushed here. Okay, now the requirement here is, now let's say for example, what type of data that you want to push it? Is it, let's say I have files. So which storage service do you recommend in AWS? S3. Now you know, right? You want to run some files, you want to execute some files, then which is the storage service that you use? So based EBS volumes. So based on the requirement, you need to, based on this requirement, guys, you need to, there are different types of gateways. What do we say? There are different types of gateways. If you want to use S3, you need to create a gateway called file gateway. What is it, Chitti? You create a file gateway and then you can push it the data to S3. What is the gateway that you should create? File gateway. What is the gateway? File gateway. So if you want to connect, if you want to mount the volumes, and if you want to use the volumes, then which is the gateway that you use it? Volume gateway. What is the gateway that you need to create? Volume gateway. Volume gateway. And you want to archive all your data. What is the gateway that you will be creating it? Tape gateway. You will be giving it to the cache. This is tape gateway. Guys, do you see different types of gateways? And also we have FSx gateway. That is the latest that we got. Okay, FSx. Do you all understood the different types of gateways what we have here? Can you just write down the different types of gateways? That's very important. And yes, for Windows. File gateway, volume gateway, tape gateways. Okay, so these are the different types of gateways. So based on the requirement, you just need to create it. So guys, here very importantly, three things, correct? One is you need to have, okay, let's take an example of file gateway. In file gateway, what are the things that we need to create? We need to create one S3 bucket. Yes. And we need to create file gateway in AWS. And we need to have a storage appliance. And we need to have a one sample VM in order to, we push the data from this through the storage gateway, through file gateway, it will go and sit in S3 bucket. Correct? Chiti, you understand the logic. Rest are all same. I'll take the file gateway example. So what are the things that we should create here? First, we need to go to AWS. Actually, this storage gateway service, this blue box should be till here because everything is on AWS only. File gateway, where do you create? You create it in AWS only, no? Right? So go to AWS and create a file gateway or create a storage, create a file gateway. While creating it, it will ask, hey Babu, do you have a storage gateway appliance? Or else please download it and install it in your on-premises. So we download it and then we'll install a virtual machine on our on-premises. Our appliance is ready. And also it will ask, hey Babu, do you have a S3 bucket so that you want to push the data? So we'll go and create an S3 bucket. Right? First one is create a file gateway. Second thing is create an appliance. Third is to go and create an S3 bucket. And for testing purpose, we need to create one machine. And then we need to mount this S3 bucket through all the way through this appliance to this our server, correct? This is what we'll be doing it. Guys, do you all understood till here? Getting it? Little bit bigger practical, but I'll make it easy. Is this clear? Getting it? Storage gateway appliance is a software that you need to install, or AWS will be giving you an image. You can download it. You can install it by yourself, or you can download an image and create a virtual machine. Mujib, what is the use of storage gateway server? Which one? Service. So file gateway will be creating in AWS only, no? Storage gateway service. Make sense, guys? Understood? So here, which is the protocols that it uses? File gateway uses NFS protocol and SMB protocol. SMB meaning server message block. I'll write somewhere here. This is used for Windows. NFS, you know very well. We did EFS, correct? And volume gateway, tape gateway, it uses iSCSI. You no need to bang your heads on this. So it's the protocol that uses. You just remember iSCSI. Guys, in volume gateway, there are two types of. There are two types. One is cached and another one is stored. Two types of volumes, cached and then stored. You only tell me if I want to have a good performance or a low latency, which one should I use, cached or stored? Cached, obviously. What does the cache meaning? Whatever the data you are accessing in S3, all this will be stored here. Guys, while you're creating a virtual machine here, so I'll put some volume here, guys, some disk for caching. Huh? So that meaning whenever I'm writing anything here, right, it will go and write it here in S3. So what if you cache it, what will happen is all the data will be cached over here and then the reply will go from here only. No need to go all the way there. So it is for caching purpose, yeah, for fast storage, for fast. Guys, generally, many people, they don't do the practicals for this. But what we'll be doing is, we cannot miss the practicals, right? So instead of VM, here we do it on EC2. Should we do it on EC2? Anyways, AWS file gateway will create it, S3 bucket we create it, and this is the EC2 instance, we'll create it for testing purpose. Your appliance, can we have the storage gateway appliance on EC2? So you just need to think your storage gateway appliance is just a VM on on-premises, and our test machine is also one VM. But as we cannot do the practicals, I'm putting it in EC2. Guys, is this clear? You're able to understand? City, please ask me if you don't understood, because if the logic is missed, you cannot understand the practicals. All good? You have to put some effort, no? Okay. Let me try my best. I already tried it, but you just have a feeling that you're not understood, even though you understood. Let me do this. Okay, guys. Question for you. What is the first step? We need to go and create a file gateway and storage gateway service in AWS. Agree? Number one. If you don't agree, say me. Number one, first step is storage gateway, okay, service on AWS. Go there. And what is the gateway, sample gateway, that what we thought to create? Okay, now this is number one, first step. Okay. And while creating a file gateway, AWS will ask, Babu, do you have, where is the appliance? Because I need to connect to it. Because file gateway has, because that this is our on-premises, no? The whole stuff is on-premises. So generally, AWS, so you need to create a VM here, no, on on-premises, correct? So how do you install it? AWS will give you one image to install it on your virtual machine, your on-premises. This is appliance. But do we have on-premises? So instead of here, can I use EC2 today? Right? So AWS has an AMI which has already appliance installed. So we'll use that AMI and we'll launch one EC2 instance. That is our appliance. Okay. Is that clear? If not, tell me. This is number two. Okay. Next. So when you launch an EC2 instance, this cannot be in smaller one. It will go with M5 or M4 X large. It will use it because it is out of our free tier. Okay. Next. So we need to create one. Okay. While creating a gateway, it will ask appliance and will give the details of appliance here. Okay. These two will get connected. Your on-premises and AWS storage gateway will be connected each other. Correct? Correct. So these two will be connected. Your on-premises on AWS side. Okay. Next, once it is connected, your end data, where do you want to put the data? In your bucket. So you create a sample bucket, S3 bucket. That is step number 3. Okay, Chite. So that from here, you need to establish a connection to S3 bucket. Correct? This is connected. Or we call it as file share. Okay. File share has to be done to S3. Right? Ma, correct. Okay, na, CC, understood. Okay. So I need to create a file share. That would be step number 4. I create a bucket. That is fine. That is step number 3. But I need to create a file share, no, from your file gateway to S3 bucket. That is step number 4. Now the entire road is clear. So to test this, I need to launch one VM on our on-premises. As we don't have on-premises, can I go and launch one Linux EC2 instance? Which is T2 micro to test. That is the 5th step. And as we, guys, the file share is created to S3. The file gateway is connected to appliance. So that meaning whenever I need to mount this S3 bucket here. Yes. So I will be mounting this S3 bucket through file gateway, through appliance to here. I'll go and mount it. So when I put the data here in my D drive, the data will be going through here, and it'll get on go and sit in S3 bucket. Now everyone understood. That is the best I can do it. Difficult one. This is your on-prem. And all these things would be the AWS. Okay, na? Yes. Should we go and do the practicals on this? As per the steps mentioned here. Do you need 2 minutes time to just stare it? Just try to understand, try to digest? Or should I go ahead? Okay. Okay. Take 1 minute. It needs an agent. Shravan. Okay. So, so let me go ahead and start doing this. So what is the first step, guys? Now tell me. So we need to go ahead and create. What's the first step? Create a. Okay. So I don't write here. Let's go. So let's go to console. Let's go to console. Where is the party? 478343. Okay. So now let's go to storage gateway. Storage gateway. Let's go to storage gateway, hybrid store integration. So what is the first thing that we should go and create it? We need to go and create a tape. Hey, did I mention tape gateway? So here we call it as there is something called VTL, virtual tape library. So VTL meaning, guys, this is in olden days, we used to have like a VCR where you put the cassette. The same way here also, if you want to push it to the Glacier, so using tape gateway, you can archive all the data to the Glacier. VTL meaning virtual tape library. It's not a storage, it's just a modem, okay? Okay, I will go here and then let's go and click on create gateway. So guys, I'm creating a gateway here. How does it work? Doesn't matter. Gateway name. What is the gateway name should we give? So you give some 9 a.m. file gateway. File gateway. I'll give this name. Time zone, go with our local in time zone. And did we learn this? Different types of gateways? File gateway, tape gateway, volume gateway, FSX gateway. So tape gateway, when if you want to go ahead and then archive all your data using this VTL, and I told you iSCSI. Volume gateway, in volume gateway, I told you there are two types of volumes, cached and store. So if you cached volume, meaning all your data is cached on your appliance, right? And then you will get a faster. But if you don't want that, if you want to store volumes, that means directly it will go and sit it on your S3 or volumes, wherever it is. So I'm just going, so based on the requirement, based on your requirement, you just need to go and select a create gateway. So for example, for now, should we go ahead and then create a file gateway, which uses NFS or SMB protocols? Yes. So let's select a file gateway. So here, next is platform options. So you need to set up a gateway on your on-premises appliance. So on-premises is mostly VMware or Hyper-V, whichever it is. But our storage gateway appliance should be on which platform? EC2. So select that EC2. Chitty, getting it? Getting it? Okay. Now you need to launch an EC2 instance, correct? So here use default settings. It uses the M5X large and it takes 150 GB cache storage and minimally required inbound security route. So if you use these default settings, so let's say in 1A and 9 AM. Plus, if you click on launch instance, automatically it will go and launch an EC2 instance, your appliance will be ready. If you use customize your settings, so you need to go ahead and then launch. Did you see this launch instance? You need to go and do selections of everything. If you use default settings, it will launch instance by itself. If you select custom setting, you need to go and launch. So let us take a default, this one. So click on launch instance. If it is uses M5 Xlarge, we need M5 Xlarge, correct? And public IP we need to enable. And ports, all these things will enable, but for now we'll enable all traffic. Later in your real time, you just need to open one by one all these things. Okay. And then we add a new volume with 150 GB for cache. And then we launch. And we'll take the public IP address. And when you click on next, you need to provide that public IP address to connect to the AWS. Is that clear? Any questions? Should I go and launch instance? I'm going and launching an instance. See, do you see this? It has already took any storage gateway AMI. In project, if you're using VMware, you can use create a virtual machine and then download it. This one, VMware ESXi, download this OVF template and then create one virtual machine. Okay. So I call it as storage gateway appliance. Okay. So T2 micro will not be sufficient. So which one we should use? M5 Xlarge, 16 GB memory. So guys, this will not come under the free tier, but if you still want to do the practical, do it. And it will charge only, do you know how to see how much charge it will cost for 1 hour? Do you know? Oh, you don't know? What is that? You should not say no. We are coming the end of the course. Do you see this instance type here? Didn't I told you that you can see all the billings here per hour? Go for M5 Xlarge. How much is on Linux? Is this much? No. So what is that? Dollar to rupee. How much it costs per hour? 16 rupees. So if you want to do the practicals, you need to pay 16 rupees or maximum 20 rupees. Or if you're crossing more than hour, you just need to pay 32 rupees or 35 rupees maximum. You just think of 40 rupees, this practical. Okay. And then go with it here. My name batch, edit it, and put it in 1A. Existing security group, select default security group. So we need to add in, see 80 GB, let it be 80 GB. We need to add a new volume, no? So with 150 GB. Guys, what is the default volume that we learned before? Volume type. So do you see this now? It's showing GP3. So they have changed it. So please watch out. So here, that is fine here now. Okay. Should we go and launch an EC2 instance? Boom, launch. So now this M5 Xlarge EC2 instance is coming up. So we'll get the public IP also here. And should we go and enable all traffic for now? For now, in your real time, do you enable all traffic? No. So I'm just going for anywhere. That means full traffic. So in real time, I showed you, these are the things that you should be opening it. Everyone understood what we did? By the time this comes up, EC2 instance, everyone understood? Any questions? You want the steps? How to do it? You want steps? You should know it is fine or not. It's not about fine. You have to think logically. So create a storage gateway on EC2. Choose. So what we did, so um, go to AWS storage gateway console and create a file gateway. This is what we did. Number 2, what we did, we launched an EC2 instance with M5 X large having 80 GB. Root volume was 80 GB. Don't root volume 80 GB and additional volume with 150 GB. Okay, that's what we did now. Number 3, what we did, I have enabled all traffic. No, enable all traffic for default security group. Guys, this is temporary. Temporary. In real time, use necessary rules. Okay, that's what till now we did. So my server is ready. Let's see. 2/2 checks are passed. So we need to copy this public IP now and continue it. I completed all the above steps and launched the EC2 instance. Correct? Okay. Should I click on next? Click on next. And is asking for the IP address. So I'm just putting the public IP address. But in real time, is it good to have public IP or elastic IP? Yes. So you just put the IP address and service endpoint. You want this to be available publicly or VPC hosted. As we are on the internet, we should go with the publicly. But in your real time, you should go with the VPC hosted. It's up to you because you will have a VPN, no? So from your company to AWS, it's up to you. Okay, I'm going publicly accessible now. Next, it is getting connected. Let's see. Review and activate. So I click on next. IP address I have given. Okay, next. So successfully activated file gateway, and it is loading local disk because we have added 150 GB hard disk, no? So that is a cache storage. So what we did here, 4th step, connect to the gateway, correct? Provide EC2 instance public IP. In real time, use EIP. Number 5. Wait until to get the gateway active and allocate additional 150 GB volume as cache. Hey, come. Guys, do you need CloudWatch log groups? Do you see this 150 GB? So we will allocate to cache. Do you need log groups in real time? Just because this is for logs, but for now I'm not going for the logs because prices will be occurred. But in real time, you create a log group and then all the logs will be stored there. So no alarms. Don't create any alarms because you know how to create all those things. And click on config. No local responder. Just now I have allocated no. Hare Pushpam. Configure cache storage by allocating one or more local at least one GP. The local list correspond to the yes, the configure. Okay. So we created a file gate. We created a file gateway. Everyone understood with appliance. Clear? Clear, everyone? Okay. Now tell me. Now tell me. Do you need to create tapes or volumes or file share or FSX? What's the next step? Yes. We need to create a file share. Very good. Let's go ahead and click on create file share. Which is a gateway that you should choose? We created 9 AM file gateway. So you want to go with NFS or SMB? We thought to go with Linux machine, right? So which one I need to select? NFS. I told you, SMB meaning for Windows and Babu, see, guys, this was not there before Chitti. All these things. Promise, it was not there at all. All these things. NFS is for Linux and SMB is for Windows. It was not there before. So everything was clumsy. So now they have changed it, everything. Okay, that's fine. So S3 bucket. Did we create an S3 bucket? Should we go and create a new bucket? Okay, let's create. Oh, you have option here itself to create a bucket, huh? So create a bucket. So I'm creating in Mumbai. Oh, anyways, it is creating a bucket name with a random one. Should we go ahead and create a bucket? Boom, created. Okay, bucket got created. Everyone understood? So this everything got changed. But anyways, if you click on create file, but what is this customized configuration? Let's click on it. Let's see what it says. So file share settings, S3 location. Anyways, we have selected S3 bucket here. Either you can go with the bucket name or access point. Access point is you can use it. Oh, yeah. What is the status on access point? Did you? अरे पकड़ा रे सर फिर से पकड़ लिया हाँ Did you complete access points? I'll keep on asking until you do that. Okay. So go with this because see access points everywhere you're getting it. Oh gosh. That got skipped. The bucket name. But no issues. I'm going to get the bucket name. Okay. Prefix you can add it. Region is fine. File share is fine. Right? NFS is fine. Deactivate. None. So automated cache refresh from S3. Guys, if you want to refresh the cache from S3, we have added 150 GB. So how frequently that you want to get the latest data from S3 to that, you can set an interval. But I'm not doing it now. Is this clear? File share settings, everyone? Guys? Yes? And click on next. So keep everything default, no issues, because let it be standard and create a new role and let it be encrypted. Click on next. And here, access objects. So whom should be access? So I'm going and adding a client that everyone should be able to access for now. Slash add client. Okay. Everyone can accept the connections, NFS. So, or you can give that particular IP address of that EC2 instance, the one which will be slowly, we'll launch not T2 micro for testing purpose. But you can give everyone to get connected. read write options, rest everything default permissions, you use it. Okay. In Access, I allowed clients only. You can give. You should give this. Rest everything should be fine. Okay, and then click on next, and click here on create. Okay. So what we did, sixth step, we created a file share. No. Create a file share from storage gateway console and provide console and create a bucket there. It's create a S3 bucket there itself. And then okay. And while creating file share, allow clients 0.0.0.0/0 rest select default values. Okay, make sense? Baba, make sense? Tell me who will write all these steps. Tell me honestly. Huh? Okay, so I clear the so file share. So do you see this? This is the mount path that we will be using it. So now what all we did? First, second, third, fourth are done. First we created file gateway, appliance we created, S3 bucket we created, file share we created. What is the next step? Launch one Linux EC2 instance, right? So I'll go and then launch one EC2 instance. I call it as just test instance. So I'll go with our Red Hat only. Okay, T2 micro is fine. 9 AM. Go with 1A. Existing security group. Default. Normal thing is fine. Still GP2 GT. Okay, still GP2 only. Don't worry. But it was there for bigger instance. It is GP3. Looks like. But launch instance. So now, once this instance is ready, we should log into this EC2 instance, okay? And then we need to mount that, correct? Which is the thing that we need to mount? This one, correct? So, and then if you want to use NFS protocol, what is the utils that you need to install first? So next is launch Red Hat EC2 instance, T2 micro. And then what we do, sudo yum install -y nfs minus utils. We need to run this, correct? Seventh step. Okay. After that, we need to create one directory, mkdir. So I'll create a directory called file gateway. Just any name. Right? And then we need to mount that, correct? So we have the command there. So copy this, mount, and paste it here. Okay. So instead of here, mount path, what is the thing that we should do? we should give the directory that we have created, file gateway slash. And then we go to inside that file gateway directory and create sample files. That's everyone. Here, what should we do inside that Linux EC2 instance? So let's go and connect to that Linux EC2 instance if it is ready. Yes, it is ready. Public appearance bold connection. Open EC2 minus user. Okay, sudo minus yes, sudo minus yes, yum install minus y nfs minus utils. Guys, so imagine this is my local machine. I mean, on premises. Now I'm connecting S3 bucket to this. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, NFS utils is done. What is the next thing? We need to create a directory, no? Create a directory with the name called file gateway, or you can give any directory. Next, we need to do the mount, correct? I should have copied that. Okay. So this file share, copy this. And then here, I'll expand, I'll clear it, and I put it here. And here we need to give file gateway slash. Guys, understood? What is this IP address? Whose IP address is this? This one is S3 bucket. This IP address is whose IP address? Which EC2? Appliance, very good. Because we are mounting through that appliance, no? So yes, so go ahead and then enter it. And then I'll go inside this file gateway directory. So now, guys, now S3 bucket I have mounted. If I use df minus h, so do you see this here? This S3 bucket is mounted as a drive or as a mount point for me to this directory. So should I create one sample file? Sure. Dot sh or txt file, something, or py file, for example. So this test.py file is created. Now indirectly, where it should be there, this file, it should be uploaded in S3 because I have mounted with all these things. I have mounted here. So I go to S3 and then I refresh. So I'm already there here in S3. I go here. Boom, boom, shake, shake. Where is that? Where is that? I refresh it. Oh, do you see this, guys? Test.py, right? Yes, that's how you should be doing it. Also in your to do all these things, they'll hire for consultant and pay lakhs of rupees. Huh? Guys, understood now the whole thing, how we have from if you create it here through appliance to FireEdge gateway for all the configurations you did, then we'll place it in S3 bucket from on-premises to AWS. This is how you move or you transfer the data from your on-premises to AWS. Yeah, super. Everyone understood, guys? This practical, this storage gateway. This is a difficult one. I hope I made it easy. Everything you can move it. Take the backup, put it there from local machine, you push it there, mount it, and it will be on S3. You can take the backups to S3 like this. You can store the data to S3 like this by mounting it as a mount point in your on-premises. Guys, any questions? Take the screenshots. Oh, hold on. I want this into what is that? I want this S3 data into use my app which is in on premises. Now this is on premises only, no? Srinivas Raj. This machine is my on premises only. Now it is EC2, but this machine is your on premises. You are mounting, you are already mounted it. S3 data. So can't you use in your application these files? You can, no? Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Sir, is it possible to, yeah, correct. So is it possible to extend the EFS to your on premises? Extend, no. Mhm. No, no, Kanbai. To your on premises, hybrid solution is only this storage gateway. For you, can go check with the data sync. There is a service called data sync. Check whether that data sync. Okay. Data sync simplifies, automates, and accelerates your moving data. If at all you want, huh? Guys, data sync is also easy for us. So it's not a big deal. If you go there, you can easily understand now. Because whatever is required, we can just between on-premises storage to AWS, you can move the data. So you just put the agent and start creating tasks, start the transfer. Boom, that's it. Okay. Okay. Take the screenshots. Yes, Prakash, correct. Hmm. Let me know what's done. Hmm. Okay. So once you are done with it, so definitely, guys, you do the practice. Don't worry. If you want to pay 20 rupees, that meaning less than half a dollar, um, please go ahead and do it. Once you are done with it, go ahead and then terminate the EC2 instances. Once you terminate it, delete the gateway itself. Delete the gateway. Wow, Veritas backup. Used to do this before. Choose the reason. The testing. Submit. So file shares, you don't have S3 bucket. Go ahead and then delete the bucket. So first you need to empty it. Delete the bucket. Super. My S3 is clean. EC2 is shutting down. And very, very important thing here is there will be a volume, additional volume will be determined, will be deleted automatically. No. So that is the main thing. Many people will get the pricing there. So make sure that you delete the additional volume also. So it is shutting down. Any questions meanwhile? Few sugar patients left already. shutting down. If you see the volumes, if you go to the volumes, there is 150 GB. So go ahead and then delete it. No volumes, nothing here, terminated, terminated. Go to the dashboard, refresh it. Everything should be 0. You see this, the widget also changed. We had a key pairs here now. So auto scaling groups running LSTL advanced snapshots. That's fine. Key pairs and security group should be there. Instances is 2 here. Those are terminated. And now they have added running. Previously, was it there, this running? It was not there, correct? So it was showing 2 here. So now running meaning it clearly says that you don't have any running EC2 instances. That meaning you don't get any bills. If you see 2 here, those are terminated. That's fine. So will you do these practicals, guys? Yes. Okay. Good. Super. Can you give me the final CC for today? You don't get worried. Super. So that is all, guys, for today. And I will see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.